A shocking conversation held between Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov and U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, just hours ago in Manila, wherein the Americans revealed that President Donald Trump was ordered evacuated from his White House after it was discovered to be riddled with listening devices implanted throughout the entire mansion and whose placements were purposed there to ensure that no evidence related to the 11th of September 2001 and 9/11 attacks on the United States would be discussed at any level. Though many in the U.S. media establishment believe that Trump decided to run for president in 2011 when he was openly knocked by the Obama regime at the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner, Secretary Tillerson stated to Ministry Lavrov that it was, in fact, in 2009 when Trump determined himself to become president and was due to the believed-to-be assassination of his close personal friend Beverly Eckert. Beverly Eckert was one of the founding members of the 9/11 Family Steering Committee. That was an organization of 12 relatives of victims of the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City and whose husband killed in this attack, Sean Rooney, was the vice president of Trump's global insurance carrier Aon Corporation who, in 2005, paid Trump $17 million for hurricane damage done to his private Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida, and that Trump, also, paid $300,000 to last year, 2016, to ensure his presidential campaign with. Trump was deeply wounded when his loyal friend and Aon insurance broker Sean Rooney was killed on 9/11, Secretary Tillerson saying to Minister Lavrov, leading him to support the efforts of Beverly Eckert in discovering the truth behind this atrocity but who herself, in February 2009, was assassinated just 6 days after meeting with President Obama in what intelligence experts at the time suspected to be an EMP attack that targeted the aircraft she was a passenger on. Upon taking office, Secretary Tillerson explained to Minister Lavrov that President Trump immediately came under a withering attack from deep state operatives within the U.S. government when he began requesting classified documents relating the 9/11 attack, with these deep state forces then pitting against Trump a special prosecutor named Robert Mueller. Important to note about Robert Mueller, this bulletin details, is that he is a long-time known deep state operative who, in 2005, personally ordered a grand jury probe into President Bill Clinton's pardoning of the international fugitive Marc Rich, closed for reasons never explained, and whom President Clinton had pardoned just hours before he left office, but who had received from Marc Rich's wife, Denise Rich, millions in donations. Most critical, however, to note about Robert Mueller, is that he was, also, at the forefront of deep state's sham 9/11 anthrax attack investigation, which were a series of attacks that began the week after the 9/11 using deadly U.S. Army militarized anthrax spores, but whose investigation conducted by Mueller targeted an innocent man named Stephen Hatfull and that so destroyed his life. A U.S. federal court ordered Robert Mueller to pay Hodeff $5.8 million, and with no one ever being charged for this other 9/11 deep state crime. With President Trump knowing full well of Robert Mueller's action plan against him, Secretary Tillerson revealed to Minister Lavrov that a U.S. attorney on Mueller's deep state team, this past week, requested documents from the White House on a 9/11 related subject that had only been discussed between two parties in the Oval Office of the White House the previous week. Fearing that the White House was bugged, President Trump's new Chief of Staff, General John Kelly, on Friday, the 4th of August, ordered all White House workers to immediately evacuate to the Eisenhower Executive Building, where he briefed the top White House officials on the leaking situation, while at the same time a specialized military unit of the Defense Clandestine Service, DCS, that is an arm of the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, swept the entire White House mansion for listening devices. To what the DCS discovered in the White House, Secretary Tillerson revealed to Minister Lavrov, was that it was riddled with listening devices implanted by the former Obama regime during a mysterious renovation of this mansion that began in September 2010 and lasted for 2 years. After the shocking discovery that the White House was riddled with listening devices, Secretary Tillerson further revealed to Secretary Lavrov, General Kelly ordered it immediately evacuated with President Trump, within hours, being evacuated to his private New Jersey golf resort, and the White House itself ordered to be completely gutted. MOFA intelligence analysts writing this urgent action bulletin state that Secretary Tillerson's relating of these facts to Minister Lavrov should be believed to be true, as coinciding with what was stated. The U.S. press satin and without notice. This past Friday, the 4th of August, reported that President Trump was taking an unannounced and unscheduled 17-day vacation, and that was followed 24 hours later with, and again unannounced and unscheduled, reports that the White House was being immediately evacuated and closed for renovations. Upon President Trump's evacuation from the White House by General Kelly, one of his top allies, former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich, accused Robert Mueller of representing the deep state at its worst, while at the same time, deep state operatives aligned with Mueller, and embedded throughout the U.S. government, vowed continued defiance against Trump, all of which led to former Reagan administration official David Stockman issuing a grave warning stating, "The bottom line is that the swamp is so undrainable that it will end up making mincemeat of Donald Trump," with MoFA analysts disputing Stockman's belief that the deep state will make mincemeat of President Trump, as he has already proved himself nearly unstoppable in his already having destroyed the Clinton regime, Bush regime, Obama regime, Democratic Party, Republican Party and mainstream media in order to ascend to the presidency, and who is, also, already preparing for what is to come, and as, perhaps, best explained by his personal friend, and one of America's top radio program hosts, Michael Savage, who grimly forewarned the deep state of civil war this past week if they try to remove Trump from power, and who gravely stated, "Not since the run-up to the Civil War has the nation been more divided. The battle lines have been drawn, the haves against the have-nots. I'm warning you, all of you leftists who think you're going to steal our vote. You're wrong. Millions of Americans will revolt if the globalists remove President Trump from office or render him powerless. That is what's going to happen in this country. You have not yet seen mob violence in this country. You've seen some mob violence instigated by George Soros mobs. But you haven't seen the thing I'm telling you is coming in this country. You haven't seen the day of the locust yet.